Is streaming eroding the soul of traditional RPGs? In today's digital age, platforms like Twitch and YouTube gaming have undeniably influenced RPGs. But as we celebrate the global reach and communal interaction these platforms offer, it's crucial to ask, at what cost? Streaming has transformed the way we consume RPGs, turning solitary adventures into shared experiences. But with every step RPGs take into the limelight of live streams, there's a shadow of doubt. A question whether or not we are witnessing the dilution of RPG's core essence in exchange for digital appeal. In the golden days before streaming, RPGs flourished in their purest form, untouched by the demands of real-time viewership. Players delved into intricate narratives, explored vast worlds, and embarked on quests that resonated on deeply personal levels. The community around RPGs thrived on forums, fan websites, and to some degree maybe through in-game interactions. It was a time of purity where the narrative was sacred, experienced without the influence of real-time comments or reactions. Discussions around these games often happened after the gameplay itself, if at all. Streaming brought RPGs onto a global stage. Yet this collision of worlds was not without tension. Long play hours and the narrative depth of RPGs met the immediacy of streaming platforms. Iconic titles like The Witcher 3 broke this barrier and altered the perception of what RPG gameplay could offer to both players and viewers alike. It wasn't just a new way to experience RPGs, it was also a new avenue for community engagement, bringing real-time discussions, reactions, and interactions into the fold. But as this new audience grows, so does its influence. And it isn't unrealistic to assume that developers will begin to think more and more about the preferences of streamers and their viewers when it comes to the design and the narrative of new RPGs. To be fair and as objective as possible, we cannot deny the benefits that streaming has brought to the RPG genre by amplifying the visibility of both indie and AAA RPGs alike. In a world brimming with gaming content, standing out is a Herculean task. Streaming platforms provide a stage for these games to not only be seen, but experienced. Smaller indie RPGs like Disco Elysium or Divinity Original Sin 2 have soared in popularity thanks to platforms like Twitch, introducing them to countless new players. In contrast, AAA titles like Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 have used these platforms to flaunt their intricate worlds to an even wider audience. Delving into these platforms offers potential players a front-row seat to a game's mechanics, narrative, and ambiance, much like a try-before-you-buy experience. This is invaluable in a genre where the commitment isn't just about money, but also time. Streaming has also rejuvenated the RPG community spirit. The live interactions between streamers and viewers create a dynamic virtual space, reminiscent of the traditional RPG forums, but with real-time vigor. This isn't just beneficial for gamers. Developers too find a direct channel to gauge reactions, gather feedback, and fine-tune their games post-launch. And this community, once confined to the digital realm, often spills into the real world with conventions, meetups, and other events. The financial implications of this surge in popularity are profound as well. Increased game visibility often leads to increased sales. Streamers, through subscriptions and donations, find direct financial support from their viewers, indirectly boosting the game's popularity. And the ripple effect doesn't stop there. Crowdfunding platforms like Kickstarter have seen a boom in RPG projects over the years, thanks in no small part to visibility through streaming. With all the positives to be grateful for, there is a dark side that cannot be ignored. The essence of RPGs often lies in their compelling narratives and the immersive journey they offer. However, the real-time exposure through streaming poses a significant threat to these very elements. One of the pivotal joys of an RPG lies in its unexpected story twists and character evolutions. But in the age of streaming, these beautiful surprises often fall prey to inadvertent spoilers. Those who wish to venture into a game like Final Fantasy VII or experience the roller coaster of Mass Effect are often robbed of their rightful surprises. And it's not merely about knowing the outcome, but losing the emotional build-up that makes such moments iconic. RPGs have traditionally been personal tales, where players dictate the rhythm. But as streaming gains prominence, the narrative is at the mercy of the streamer's pace and interruptions. This shift, coupled with constant commentary, risks diminishing the immersion, which is the very essence of RPGs. On top of that, the online nature of streaming communities can become a breeding ground for toxicity and harassment. The vastness and anonymity of streaming platforms unfortunately offer a haven for harmful behaviors. From trolling to outright bullying, the culture surrounding RPG streams can sometimes become hostile. Specific contentious in-game moments can exacerbate this toxicity, potentially alienating new players or viewers. The backlash on streaming platforms isn't limited to fellow viewers either. Developers, especially when navigating through game bugs or unpopular elements, face the brunt of live criticisms. And streamers too aren't immune, with their perceived in-game choices sometimes making them targets of hostile viewers. The advent of streaming has ushered in a new age of viewer engagement metrics that often prioritize immediate satisfaction and retention. While these metrics are crucial for the success of a stream, they might inadvertently influence the narrative fabric of RPGs. The concern here is the potential dilution of the deep and nuanced storytelling that RPGs have been cherished for. In a bid to cater to the stream-friendly demands, games might be driven to introduce more frequent cliffhangers, or perhaps even prioritize action-packed sequences over meaningful character development. Such shifts, though they might boost short-term engagement, risk eroding the soulful narrative journeys that define the RPG genre. The streaming world, much like other platforms, often falls into the trap of popularity contests as well. Titles like Cyberpunk 2077, despite their rocky launches, can eclipse lesser-known gems merely by the weight of their brand. This monopolization of attention makes it arduous for indie RPGs to find their spotlight. The competition for visibility is fierce, and while streaming platforms have the potential to elevate unknown RPG titles to fame, the reality is often skewed. The platform's algorithm tends to favor already popular games and streamers, making it challenging for lesser-known RPGs to break through the noise and reach their potential audience. This scenario perpetuates a cycle of economic disparity within the RPG genre. It makes it a tough landscape for emerging titles to gain traction and financial backing, despite the communal and interactive opportunities streaming platforms can provide. Even worse, it might see some developers pressured into targeting their content to fit the streaming mold, rather than preserving the core of the RPG genre. So, is the advent of streaming a boon or a bane for RPGs? On one hand, the positive impacts of streaming on RPGs are pronounced and significant. The exposure, community building, and financial incentives offered by streaming platforms have undeniably propelled the genre to a wider audience, enhancing the communal experience of RPG storytelling. On the other hand, the negative aspects cannot be ignored. The threat of spoilers, potential for toxic behavior, game design changes, and economic disparities pose real challenges to both the RPG community and the narrative integrity that is the hallmark of the genre. While the future of RPGs in the age of streaming is uncertain, in my opinion, there is a pressing need to preserve the integrity of what makes these games great. Recent titles such as Baldur's Gate 3 justifiably give hope, but there's a lurking danger that threatens the very essence of a gaming genre that I hold dear to my heart. A danger that I hope will not actually materialize over the next couple of years. But what is your take on this conversation? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.